To announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about breakout time. It is happening after weeks and weeks in the same pattern and moving between 110,000 and 90 something thousand. It's finally time for the breakout. So we are going to talk about this. We have some voices here, also some videos from figures in the crypto space, which I think is bullish. So we are going to listen to that as well. We are going to look at targets where we are going with Bitcoin and crypto. Then we are going to look a little bit at altcoins as well, as much as the time allows us. But make sure to stay tuned here all the way through. Good morning to each and every one of you. I hope you have your coffees also locked and loaded, ready to go, because Bitcoin is feeling bullish. We are seeing it. Here is your flag pattern that we've been observing since a long time. It is basically unfolding since May, although there it was not recognizable, but latestly here in the beginning of June, we were seeing, okay, something's going on, and we have been observing it ever since. And now we have Bitcoin sitting at 109,382, ready to break out here. And we see that yesterday we did close the day above this line, which we haven't done since mid of May, basically, or never done basically this trend line since that point here. And we wicked out, we got a little bit of a sell-off, but now I think this might be already the retest. We don't know yet for sure, but this might be already the retest, right? So continuation is possible. M2 was showing that as well. So the breakout is happening, and we will see where it leads us. Let's take maybe that opportunity to measure the target. And for that, we have to go out of the logarithmic chart. And we can take this flagpole, which would be the bullish flagpole, and put it here on our breakout, and that would give us a $135,000 target, exactly what we have since ever on this channel as the cycle top target, by the way. So let's see if that is already the top. Then that is unknown to me, but that would be roughly where we expect this price to go, given that this is not a fake out. So let's see how it unfolds, but for now I would say it's a breakout. So let's welcome the chat here. Let's welcome everyone. Let's see who's here. We have Trucking Hank in the house. Good morning to you. We have G Money bringing us coffee rockets. And we have Troy Paris, good morning, and PH and chat, good morning to you as well. So these for the rare hodlers, thank you a lot. And we do, by the way, I did not figure out what what is this crown thingy, top fans thing. I have no idea, I have no clue. It just appeared, no idea what that is. We have Quiet Alpha, good morning. We have Bernard Donaldson. Hit the like, guys. Thank you very much. Coming to your question about VeChain a little bit later, hopefully. We have Helen. Good morning, PH, Mr. PH, and everyone else. Good morning to you as well. Just not much volume though. That is actually true. Good point. Good point. Usually we would like to see higher volume on breakout. We don't see that yet. Also, keep in mind today's the 3rd, and today the unemployment rate comes out. Maybe the market is waiting for this data as well. So we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment, and the ISM service PMI coming out from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Central European time. So early morning, I think, in the US it should be, but there and thereabout looks good. Who posts the most is in the chart leaderboards with a crown. Oh, okay, got it. So everyone, hey, that's great. Yeah, I don't know. That's good. So you can spam the chat now and help the channel to grow just to have the crown. Yeah, but okay, thanks for clarifying that. Overall, I think if we go in the higher time frames, we see it even better. So here, for example, on the weekly, we kind of see that this breakout is just happening, right? And on a weekly basis, you can also say, okay, and the week still has 3 days and 20 hours left over. We already see here, it plays nicely to our continuation pattern, right? We have this massive breakout from here. We had something similar happening here, right? Flagging along, breaking out, coming back for the retest, and this could happen here as well, right? You have the breakout, you go all the way to 111,000, and then you get a red candle on the weekly back down that dips down next week towards that lower end of the upper side. Something like this could happen, right? So not necessarily the retest does have to happen in such a small time frame, okay? So here we had a retest on a weekly basis, basically, and then we have the massive pump afterwards. So we are expecting something similar out of this flag pattern, this continuation. Overall, we have our inverse head and shoulders here. You see it in the non-logarithmic way. Inverse head and shoulders, breakout, retest, continuation. And if we put that into a monthly, then we see it even better. And it ties up, don't forget, the indicators have given us bullish foresigns, so to say, for the next couple of weeks and months to come. Yo, Smart Buy, what is going on? GM everyone, to Tito. When real bull cycle, like 21, I think, I don't know if we get something exactly like that, because that was a very explosive move. But I mean, we are in a real bull cycle. Let's not forget that. You mean altcoin season, but I mean, we are 613% up on Bitcoin. That is not too shabby. That's pretty good, right? Plus, we are probably going much higher still. And with much, I mean 135 beyond. You see it here on the TSI. We have some room to go until we hit that. Now, if we would extrapolate this, we would hit the trend line in October. And now we're really aligned with the cycle timing, right? If we grow on this pace, it makes sense. If we're looking at the RSI down here, we see we are barely, but not even, we're at 70, so we are not even that overbought, right? We are looking to pump for the RSI in here. So we're looking at a crazier target. When NFT real bull cycle, what am I saying for Solana? Also breakout bull flag target $245. We can look at that in a second. When bull cycle for retails? Yeah, that actually I discussed that yesterday based on Google Analytics, and I think we need to first finish the Bitcoin focus narrative. So yeah, here you go into the RSI. So we're not even close, right? We are looking to get something like this, which is the last cycle here, right? We do have the monthly cross in the stochastic RSI, and we are halfway through the bullish momentum here to the upside. Then there's still this upper side, but you see bull cross is always followed by a bigger pump. We do have the bull cross here. We are up 34% since then. We could easily go another move like this before, right, hitting that, because this is a monthly, so a lot of space still coming, right? So that is all really, really great. Really great. So going to October, looking good. Then altcoin season following that, probably with all the setup that we also discussed yesterday with the grayscale ETF and so on. That deserves a big sip of coffee. I think everything will come, in contrast to most people. I do think that. I think that Ethereum is going to play a massive role. We have discussed that the risk of parabola is broken. We're moving sideways now here for gold, which gives us a chance for Bitcoin to, so this is the gold charts, right? Gold chart. This is the risk of investment. We will see how it unfolds, but parabola is broken. I think people will move risk on. And here we have the Bitcoin dominance, and that is an interesting development here. We will see if it's done rallying, right? If we get another, let's say, altcoin pump phase now that we are moving for Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin needs to move first. So altcoin dominance is looking juicy. We can still just continue to creep up here for, I don't know, maybe into September, October here, easily towards the 70%, no problem, right? So this can still happen. Altcoin still getting wrecked while this is happening, but that's where, if you think there is an altcoin season, that's where the positioning is coming in, right? The dollar, the DXY, is still falling, which is exactly what we did expect here once we confirm not a fake out, but a real drop off that we have right now. This is, I would say, the last leg of the bull run is in full swing right now with this drop off, and we do have all this way to go, which, if we just say we drop like this, you are here in the end of October, November, if you drop all the way down. So that would coincide timing wise. In the last two bull runs, just to recap that as well, these are the last two bull runs. We did exactly the same thing. We came down, crashed all the way with the dollar to the 90 level, and then here crashed to the 90 level, double bottom, and then the bull run was over, right? Here we just crashed to the bottom and the bull run is over. So I'd say if you were to trade and we hit this 90 bottom here on the dollar, that would be where I'd say, okay, the bull run is ending. So if I were to call the top, I would do it based on the DXY, based on even Bitcoin dominance, depending on how it looks then, like if we get a crashing there, and then based on TSI, RSI, MVRVZ score, right, stuff like that, and pull it all together and see like what's check marking. Like for me, one very important thing will be whether this indicator did hit its top line or not, right? As it until now never failed, so I'm definitely never as good, right? It only has 2 hits here and then 2 crosses and then 3 bull crosses, right? But so far it's correct. Looking at October here for a hit plus unfolding of that month for the close, so that would be October close or September close, October close. We will see how we're moving, so I would look at this stuff for the top, but we will see. Then here this is basically the move. We have to put them side by side. So investor go out of this gold and move into this total risk on, right? This is total 3 without Ethereum. Important is to always keep in mind that Ethereum is still that one horse where everyone is looking at in the race, and we are nicely bouncing off of the trend line here for the total 2. So the entire altcoin market is looking towards the upside right now to get a bounce. We see it already in Bitcoin dominance that this bounce is happening, which is nice. It's funny. Wes came out here and said OMI has changed lives. OMI indeed changed lives. I never knew how frugal living is until I bought OMI. Yeah, exactly. Turn $1,000 into sub $100 very quickly. Hopefully the opposite move is happening as well. But here we go. Okay, so back to the reality here. I think that we are going to see the alts move with Bitcoin the moment that Bitcoin challenges its new all-time high, or goes to new all-time high, challenges the current one. We would see at some point probably Ethereum moving, and here it's important. Let's look at ETH USDT quickly. So we are still glued to this middle. And this is on purpose, right? So you had this trend here. This trend looked like this, exactly like this. And it was really nice. And then we broke it. And that's where all the ETH FUD really came in. Like ETH, what the fuck, not performing and so on. This is a monthly chart, right? But the overall pattern, I think, is this, right? So that you have this compression here. And I think it's only a matter of time until ETH will re-challenge this upper side. And you see also that, this could be already it, right? Usually these compression patterns, they never pan out until the end, right? So we could see ETH move up, break out, and then they're going to all-time highs. I'd say that's the most likely scenario. Then ETH is leading the charts. And also, this is a monthly chart, right? So if I say this, you're in October, November here for the breakout for ETH. That would make sense, right? If you just go like this. Or you pump out, retest, go. This go is next year, right? If it looks like this. So I really think that the altcoin season will make people cry in the sense that it's taken so long and it's taking even longer. What is good is that also ETH posted a bull cross here on the stock RSI right here. And both lines moved into the blue zone. So if we are lucky, ETH gets the full monthly swing up here. Basically, stochastic RSI-wise momentum for ETH is mega bullish, giga bullish, because look at this. The last time that we had a bull cross for ETH was here. And look at the move. ETH did from that bull cross a 250% move. So if we were to start a 250% move on this one, that would be here, breakout, right? As I said, it would be $6,000 ETH, and then some, right? But just based on one indicator. Of course, we are not going to just look at this indicator because you see what happened here, right? This can easily fake out, but I'd say macro, that was a big fat bear market, then the bull, now another bull phase for ETH. Absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. Did you think small caps like OMI will pump? And what's your price target for OMI? Oh God, okay. Let me spin this train of thought a little bit more because I'm coming to it, okay, via the other indicators. From time to time we're doing it this way. So back to the total 3, which is excluding ETH, and this one is basically, if you're looking at this, we have 1, 2, 3 big bounces, and then we have the all-time high coming in here. So we also have this compression mode going on where basically you are forming this big cup and handle pattern, right? If this is the neckline for the all-time high wick up, you could make the same with the candle bodies. It's not as clean. And then you are also in November to close this, right? If we were rounding out like this. So you're also in November, end of the year, to close this, and that would be the total 3 goes back to all-time high, which is something that we did see. Actually, we wicked a little bit above it even here in December. So we did see something like that move in last December, right? So half a year ago. I think that is the turning point, and then we have to break it. And once we break it and confirm, then boom, right? This is expected. It's not a guarantee, but this is when we need to turn risk on. And what is going to turn risk on? Money printer is already, like, there's already monetary expansion. Global M2 is already growing, pointing for Bitcoin in the direction. But what needs to happen for total risk on? The interest rates in the US have to come down, and then people that are squeezed with lots of debt and credit can refinance at better rates, and they will basically be alleviated, right? And then at the same time, maybe they got a raise and earned more money, and they get bonus, whatever, what the fuck, right? So companies are paying more and throwing money at people, and government throws money at people. Stimulus, right? So that needs to happen. So that's the shift from that gold curve towards the degen curve, right? That is what I expect. Okay, and then we have the others chart, which is everything in the top 10. Everything besides the top 10. No stablecoins, no Bitcoin, no top 10 cryptos. And that is clinging on for dear life here, so to say. Also here, we hopefully see a big fat bounce. The problem that this chart has is it's the overweight of these coins that are really driving crypto is not here, right? So XRP and Ethereum and Solana and Sui and whatever is in the top 10. In Chainlink, I think. Chainlink, I don't know if it's top 10, but it's not here. So it's basically number 11 through all the shitcoins, right? And you have so many shitcoins, and this market cap just doesn't want to grow really, because I think this, like, we exaggerated so hard on the shitcoins, and now here's a little bit of a thing. You could do this way, and then you say you've lost the trend, right? That would basically be the bearish retest, and you get wrecked on all these small coins. That's one scenario. Or you're saying we are more like something like this, right? And you just draw the world as you want. But I would say this needs to find, like, we have to find a new footing here. So I'd say trend is lost. I'd say trend is lost for now. So we need a new pattern here, right? What do we see? We do see Okay, we have this massive overhead resistance. Good fucking question, right? Because we had a really nice, we have this all-time high resistance, okay, and we never went to it. So in the other chart, you remember, in the total 3, in the other chart, we basically, here we almost touched this with the wick, but we never went to this all-time high back again. So we really, to be honest, I don't know what to do with this chart, yeah? Because there's so many things that you can imagine and draw in. You can say, oh yeah, that was almost, and then we go a cup and handle. No. Not that easy, right? Because we have this bounce, 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 flop, right? Trends lost. Not looking good for small caps. Doesn't mean we can't pump into oblivion anyways, but not looking as great. Yeah, I show you one more thing on the others, which makes that situation really clear. It's called others dominance. Okay, I did pull that chart up 2-3 times on this channel when it was still active. Look at this. This rising channel on the others dominance was going on since 2000, basically since the inception of altcoins, right? We have this bam, 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 really nice, smooth setup, right? And then here we lost it, right? About 5 months ago we lost this, and we never turned back since. So we lost it for good, and that is exactly because if you take the dominance of like the other coins, you see that they don't get wrecked as much as the sub top 10 coins, right? So if you go Sol BTC, well, it does. 1 second, Sol BTC on another chart. There we go. It not that much, right? So there we go. This was only last month. But for Solana, for example, you see Solana against BTC last cycle, bam, outperformance. This cycle, outperformance sideways, a little bit of a loss against it right now, but not as severe as the others dominance that I showed you right now. ETH BTC, ETH got really wrecked against BTC, right? But still, you have outperformance. Here you have a bear market against BTC. Now there is something happening, right? Like here with that. So the large caps, they are fine, right? So SUI BTC. Okay, that's there you go. SUI BTC, right? Losing against BTC also from January. So January is where BTC once again started dominating the market, and that's what you also see here, right? November, we had altcoins getting really nicely, and then bam, here after December, Bitcoin comes back and starts dominating again, right? So yeah, it's all happening at the same time. What is like Link BTC? Let's see if Link is performing against BTC. Not really, right? So for example, Link is getting already destroyed against BTC, but so you have these couple of coins in the tops that don't really get destroyed by, not that much at least, by BTC, but Link is getting destroyed by BTC. Yeah. If any, we would like to see a pump out of Link. Yeah, something. So to bounce here and then go and then start outperforming, right? That would be then already in the altcoin season. But I think that right now the sub top 10 coins have a really bad standing at the moment, and that doesn't count for everything, right? Because there are so many shitcoins in that will not get any inflows. Okay, so I see you guys have a really heavy discussion already. Everyone believing on VeVe NFTs more than OMI, Make VeVe great again. VeVe cycle will be parabolic, especially with low additions and old grails. Probably not miss those while you have a chance. Troy says the floors of many things are moving up also. Yeah, I saw that as well. And sometimes there are only like 2 comics listed or so in a category, and the floor jumps quickly because the sellers are not there anymore at this point. Mark D says, I think David Yu coming out and saying they are looking at ways to burn old comics is kind of bearish on the 30 to 70,000 edition stuff, or bullish, because if you get these really down, these numbers, and then people go crazy on VeVe once more, then it's good for those comics, right? He knows it's oversaturated, too many in circulation. I agree with that, but yeah, people don't like these numbers. I agree with that, yeah. And also, it's not good because the first 3 comics that came out, they're basically grails, and they're sitting there with 60,000 comic editions. That's true as well. Burning might reposition them, and don't forget many of them are stuck in bots and old accounts. Those are all unaccounted. Yeah, and I don't know how it is legal wise. Can they burn it now? No idea. Right, but while we're talking about VeVe, let's take a look at Ecomi. Again, Ecomi sitting where it sits, nothing happening other than it being at 0.0019, moving more sideways than downwards at the moment, waiting for liftoff. Waiting for the whales to make their move. Yeah, bam, here. Whales, come on, do something. And not little stuff. Those are already locked out and cannot be listed anymore. And if account is not up for more than 2 years, they are already permalocked. Yes, but the problem is people don't see that in the metadata, right? So you only see this huge number circulating, and then you don't want to touch it, don't want to spend money on it, right? So you need to see a certain number being burned, right? Check out BNKR. What's that? Bunker. Bankers Investment Trust. Let's see if there is a banker coin. Is that it? I know why you want me to check this out. It's pumping like hell. Actually, not that much. Like, is that it? Is that the coin that you want to look at? Please confirms. Do you think the selling for OMI on Stacker is affecting the price of OMI? In which way? Like that you can buy it on Stacker, or I don't think it depends, right? I mean, it doesn't really, because what matters is the sell, the ask and sell on the exchanges, right? That's it. And what is it? Banker coin? Yeah, no idea. I mean, there's not enough chart to really say anything other than there is a rising channel here, and this could break to the downside, or yeah, something like that, right? Rising channel. But and it's at chart high. Let's put it that way, almost. Yeah. AI agent on X. Okay, good to know. Banker coin. Yeah, be very careful with those because we don't know how long living they are. This is the good thing with, no matter how shitty the price of OMI is, the good thing is that we're relatively sure that VeVe is going to make it. Yeah, very sure actually. people are selling in OMI, then selling that OMI to cash out. Yeah, I mean, but it's good, right? Because even if that is the case, then it might, in the midterm, put sell pressure on OMI, but it also makes OMI used for something, right? Suddenly OMI is the currency to make those sales, which needs to have, like, on the other side, you need a buyer for it, right? So if you sell in OMI, someone has to purchase OMI before to be able to buy it from you. So it makes, like, it would definitely help the volume, because you have let's say you have 1 million OMI. So I buy 1 million OMI and I buy the collectible for 1 million from you. So I don't know how much, like 25,000 OMI is moved to the Burn wallet and 975,000 is arriving at your wallet. And then you take that and you dump it into the market, which makes the volume total to be close to 2 million, right? So that's better than this transaction not happening, because then, like, 2 million OMI volume, right? Not dollars. Like that, what is that? That's like $400 volume added. But it's better than not happening, because the total volume for OMI, now OMI basically has a use case. It's a currency now for that market, right? So I think that's a good thing. Even though if it might midterm put more sell pressure, as people use OMI they already bought to make this transaction, and then someone sells the OMI into the market. Maybe short term there is sell pressure, but let's say there is some excitement going on. People want collectibles, so everyone loads up some OMI to use it on Stacker. That would then put first buy pressure before sell pressure comes in again, right? So the buy pressure comes at some point first, when people have to upload new OMIs, right, on their wallet. It would show everyone how they don't really own their stuff. VeVe owns it. What exactly? Think about the realistically, the hit to their reputation would be immense. Yeah. Exactly. So if they take away the collectibles, it would be a problem. Like, even the bot wallet technically owns it, but it did go against TOS, so they just happen to be like perma blocked. They still own it, but it's perma locked. I mean, decision is up to VeVe, but if we really get millions of users, these 60k top, their grades will not be enough even then. I think the thinking here for David Yu and team is not just the burn. Like, think about the Marvel Comics #1, what happened over lifetime with this comic. It basically had a physically driven burn mechanic implemented by just life being harsh on physical objects, right? So let's say you issue 100 of a certain comic, and then one like a child at school fights over the comic and they rip it apart. Bam! Now it's 99, right? And then another one has it in his backpack, and the drinking bottle opens and it is completely wet. Now it's like only a 2.0 grade suddenly out of the nothing, right? And then another one is like, where did I put it? It's in the attic. Another one has it in his house. House catches on fire. It's burnt. Now we're to 95, right? 5% suddenly gone, right? So we don't have that in a digital space, which is a good thing. But also for collectors, it's nice that there's still ways and mechanics where you can get something else, but you have to sacrifice part of the collectible, and everyone else benefits from the sacrifice, was basically creating a win-win-win situation where someone gets something cool new but sacrifices an edition, and the other ones have now a more scarce comic. So I think they try to recreate the positives of this naturally degrading physical product but at the same time maintaining the positive of the digital, which is basically it cannot happen, right? So bringing those two together, like scarcity along the way, by still keeping all the benefits of really, if you want to maintain your digital version, you can, right? And I think that's what they're aiming for. That's what they're aiming for. So I think that is believe me, I'm more bullish on VeVe than anyone, but VeVe can't just withhold all that stuff people purchased. It depends. If it's bot wallets, they can. I mean, what the heck will they do, right? They have terms of service, of use of service. Like if you violate it, like if you really violate it, then why not? I mean, there's really no. What they could do is technically, if it was completely mintable on chain and so on, they can say, here, go take your collectible, but you can't sell on the VeVe marketplace anymore. You're banned, right? They can take it. They have to leave it in the wallet, right? That may work in the fantasy internet coin crypto world, but that will not work with real people, okay? I would say no, because most of those people are gone forever, and the minimum amount of those people, bots that come back, probably will not matter. I agree. I think that many will not come back. But especially, you have to see one thing. Those thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of accounts are accounts with one collectible or so, right? So multi-use accounts. So, and they would have to KYC. I would actually say, hey, yeah, reopen them, come back, do KYC, right? It's actually good for the market, right? In that sense, do it, like release them in waves and see how many come back, right? But if they are not KYC'd, it's a little bit, yeah. We all have family and friends that own VeVes that haven't logged in years. You think people are just going to accept that they can't have their stuff anymore? No, I think that will not happen. That should not happen, right? I have the same situation, right? People don't log in for a year or so because they got uninterested. You always should have the possibility to come back. It would be also good for VeVe because they would basically get the new active user if they let that user come back, right? And that user not necessarily comes back to sell, but rather to participate in a growing community again. Who knows, right? Who knows what motive someone has to come back? So I agree with you there. That is not going to fly, yeah. Definitely not. VeVe is a private company and it's in their T's and TNCs. But yes, that NFT might stay in the wallet but cannot be sold, purchased, or have limited access. I'm only talking about bot accounts though. Yeah, I think we have to differentiate, right? If someone comes back from three years no VeVe and he wants to go to VeVe and then he sees, okay, probably he should get a message, like he tries to log in and he gets a message, this account has been set to dormant, please contact the VeVe support. And then they have to do the KYC, which they didn't do then if it's 3 years old. And then they can log back in, right? So that's how they should do it. So they have basically their own KYC'd validated statistic, because then they want a user back by then. Even if that person sells some stuff, they want an active user back, which would be really, really good. This is the only thing that really matters towards new licensors, to say, hey, how many active users you have, what's the spending behavior, and so on, right? So I think that's the way to go. And then bot accounts, they might not even go through the trouble, because if you have a bot account, for example, that has one comic in it, people, like, they will not come back to it, very likely, right? They will, even if you release it technically so that they can do KYC, they probably don't do KYC on that one. collectible side can always be diluted with unlimited IP grails and verticals. Always a new shiny object. There is only so many Marvel comic grail key comics that can drop, and that is the reason why I am very, 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 very bullish on comics on VeVe, right? I've always said that, I think, since the inception of this channel, because they have a physical counterpart, mostly, and they have some value comparison in the real world, and they have an existing fan base in the real world that are collecting that, plus the exclusive covers that are existing here for on VeVe, right? Yeah, we see it now. VeVe is basically executing these things of, hey, you have this comic for a while, who's interested in it buys it, then after a short while, burn, right? Really, really good, because this creates the scarcity naturally already, yeah. I can't wait to get back to buying a comic here and there once another one on the level 100. So the level 100s are coming out more and more and more. So this one, congratulations to Crypto Inf Club, Greg McClure. Really good also that VeVe celebrates these things, right? And that you get a trophy or something like that on the physical, like in the real world meetups. Really nice. Also the Red Hulk. This is one that I want, right? I have the green, like the first release of the Hulk, but the Red Hulk or these Hulks, I want them because I think they are really nicely made. Yeah, looks good with a fire also animation, really nice. You actually believe VeVe knows which accounts used bots 5 years ago and can prove? I think you have to see it like an iceberg, and there are a lot of non-KYC'd accounts with one collectible only, and I think that is the majority of these dormant accounts is one account, one collectible, some gems in it, probably from like flipping previous drops, and then I think that's the majority, or let's say 1, 2, 3 collectibles that have been botted from a drop, right? I think they will know. Maybe they just let it sit there, right? As people not talking about it. But anyways, guys, I wanted to show you. We jumped over it. Maybe I saved them for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Crypto Morning Coffee. I had some voices here regarding crypto ready, but somehow we drifted off into altcoins and then into VeVe. So I'm going to save those voices for tomorrow. Then we are going to listen to the new SEC chair and to Tommy Lee, or whatever his name is, the man with the hair, the second man with the hair. But yeah, so far I'm dying here because it's so freaking hot in here. So I'm going to finish up my coffee here. I leave you guys here, but guys, smash up the like button here, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, very important. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, and afternoon. We are going to follow closely what's happening to Bitcoin, and I see you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one, everyone, and bye.